We want the crowd to get loud right now. We're kicking off round of 8 for our men's speed and style. We got Garrett Meacham looking for a three-peat. He's the #1 qualifier. He's going up against Mark Ducat.
Garrett Meacham with a solid start out of there, going up over that scrub wall. Looked like Ducat kind of floated to the bottom there, so he's going to lose a little bit of speed. Nice, clean tricks out of both riders on the first jump. Looks like we had a flip out of Ducat and a truck to X out of Garrett. Little rock garden there in the middle, coming up off this shark fin. Let's see what they got coming into the last Showtime booter. Garrett with the speed, bar spin, backlip to can-can. He's going to come across the line first.
Garrett Meacham's been ruling with an iron fist. As we mentioned, he's looking for a three-peat. He won in Whistler last year. He won at the first stop in Rotorua this year. And he's the #1 qualifier today. This is how he's been doing it, really consistent with those combination moves.
Yeah, so looking at these tricks here, talking about how there's a different score you can get, a 10 points plus or a 10 points minus. The things to look out for is the execution. So amplitude, how high are they going? Extension, how much are they extending it? Look at that can-can all the way across. And then the landing, you see Garrett's tires come in, both tires landing at the exact same time, straight on the pedals. That is gonna be max points from top to bottom for Garrett Meacham.
I'll tell you what, is his opponent right there, Mark Ducat, no slouch. He made it to the bronze medal matchup at stop #1 of this season, took 4th place. He went up against Billy Meeklum. Today he's gonna try to come back from that 1.4 deficit underneath our #1 qualifier, Garrett Meacham.
Yeah, similar to what we do in slalom, both riders are gonna have an opportunity on the black and the white course, and it will be a combined difference between their scores. So it's not over for Ducat yet. He will be back up. But right now, who do we got?
Well, we got a tough bracket here for Bas van Steenbergen, and he qualified higher than Mike Ross, but Mike Ross has some mega tricks that you know he's going to dump out right now, because Bas van Steenbergen is one of the fastest racers in the world.
This is an awesome matchup right here to put speed versus style into perspective. Bas just rocketing out of the gate right there, focusing on speed, but look at the cleanliness of that cash roll out of Mike Ross on the white course. Sorry, the red course. We switched colors here. Here they come in down to the Showtime booth. Let's see what combo. Looks like an X up to Knack-Knack, another cash roll, trying to get all of the speed he can and minimize that difference between him and Bas van Steenbergen.
Well, it's great to see them both stomp their run. You know, Bas needs to push his limits of speed in order to compete with Mike Ross, and Mike Ross needs to do 2 cash rolls in the midst of a race run in order to even have a chance of knocking out a former king. Bas van Steenbergen, wow, look at Mike Ross. That was a combination cash roll, Alan.
Yeah, he did that seat grab right off the lip so fast I missed it from the backside, so he's gonna be doubling up on points right there.
Well, you know, our judges, if they missed it the first time, they got a great view there from that replay, and that's really gonna factor into their score. And then he backs it up down here on the second jump.
Yeah, we'll see riders doing 3 to 4 and maybe even 5 different tricks in one jump. So they will be compounding those scores and just racking up the points and deducting their time.
What's it gonna be here? Scores coming in. Mike Ross is holding down the fort here for run #1. We'll get them up to the top of the course, switch sides. Bas van Steenbergen is gonna have his work cut out for him in run #2.
So on that run, style outweighing speed by just about a second. It looks like right there, Mike Ross getting the highest score of the day.
Well, that's what it's all about in bracketed competition. You see Mike Ross been doing cash rolls all morning to find his way into the round of 8. Now he's adding the variation, picking up 2 extra points, but man, those 2 really carry a lot of weight. Back up to the top, Jaden Fleming against Jackson Frew. Jaden Fleming, #3 qualifier. Super impressive. He's got some tricks in his bag, but Jackson Frew has been training in the airbag. He's a race specialist. He really needs the points. He's sitting in 3rd in the King of Crankworx overall right now.
Jackson with a solid start right there.
Oh, that scrub.
Yeah, that scrub is beautiful. Let's see what Jaden's got. Backflip there out of Jaden. Jackson getting the can-can in. Look at how he's cutting the corners, making the track as short as possible. Jackson just absolutely accelerating, scrubbing out of the shark fins. Let's see if he pulls out this new combo. There's that seat grab Knack-Knack. I don't think we saw that before. And then a front flip out of Jaden Fleming straight on the pedals.
Way to go for Jaden Fleming there. If you see how far behind you are in that final straight, you need a big dog move like that front flip.
Now, coming from a freestyle background, Cam, you know, I remember just trying to land the tricks, let alone thinking about speed. What is it that these guys go through with having to land and actually be straight back on the pedals before they're even off the landing? How much harder does that make it?
It's way harder, and that's something that we talk about a lot when it comes to speed and style, but today even more so. Take a look at how narrow the ideal path is after that second jump in that finish line sprint. If you're a little bit offline because you're doing some sort of 720 variation, you're going through the mud. You're gonna lose a lot of speed. So those difficulties are compounded when the conditions are the way they are today. Back up in the gate now, Tohoto Ariki Penny on the left side of your screen, the reigning king, the leading king in this 2024 season as well. And he's going up against Daniel Ferry, who is also the #2 qualifier out there today. This is gonna be a really tough one for Tohoto if he wants to hold down those #1 points in the King race right now. He would love to be able to pull a Bass and double up 2 seasons in a row, holding on to that crown.
One of the things I like about the speed and style is the different bikes you'll see out here. The riders will choose their bikes based on their capabilities, so we'll see kind of the people that are leaning more on trick stuff. You see Daniel here on kind of a traditional dirt jump style bike, and then you see Tohoto here on a short travel trail bike. You're gonna get a little more traction, a little more speed out of that short travel trail bike. But that traditional dirt jump bike is going to be perfect for the stunts. And right there, we get a backflip double bar spin out of Daniel. And Tohoto is on the gas right now, coming down this track. So much acceleration out of these lower turns. Traction is at an all-time high right now with the little bit of moisture we have. Suicide no-hander to toboggan. That is a super hard combination.
Man, Tohoto's speed and style game is elevating so much. A silver at stop #1 this season. The fact that he can get points from speed and style is going to help so much. He's already had a big week out here with a silver in slalom 2 nights ago and a 4th in downhill just yesterday.
Look at that huge, perfectly executed backflip double bar spin. So he's going to be collecting points for 3 tricks in 1 air. Gapping all the way down. This is in that section where that trail bike that Tohoto's on will be a little bit of an advantage, a little more stability, a little more traction, but then coming into this last one, this was super impressive. The tuck no-hander to toboggan, that is such a tough combo because right there he's pinching the seat with his knees and then he has to grab back on his hands, let go of his seat with his knees, grab the seat with his hand, and then get straight back on the pedals and across the line.
I would say if you're Tohoto and you don't have the big rotational tricks and you're gonna try to get some points in this discipline, execution is your best friend, and he obviously recognizes that because the fact that he's holding those tricks so long and performing them with such cleanliness gives him a chance of holding down the advantage here in this heat. We're waiting for those scores to come in. Tohoto, of course, crossed the finish line first. We're calculating out those scores that the judges are awarding right now. Daniel Ferry, your #2 qualifier, is going to be the leader here as we send them back up to the top of the course, but it's a tight one, just 0.4 separating these 2 riders.
Yeah, not a ton in it, 0.4, it's still anyone's game. Looking right here at the bracket, what do you see on here as people come down after those first runs? Is it matching up to those qualifying times?
What I see is Garrett Meacham continuing to rule with an iron fist, putting a 1.4 on Ducat. I see him on a collision course down there with the #2 qualifier, Ferry, and a whole lot of action happening in the middle of these brackets. But we've already had a whole lot of action happening already this weekend. As we mentioned, dual slalom and downhill already taking place. A little look back at some highlights from our women's field and our men's field in the dual slalom from just 2 nights ago.
Yeah, there's those bottom flat turns. That's where things got really technical. We see Gilchrist there taking the win, celebrating up there on top of the podium with Jordy Scott. And then this was an unexpected situation, I think, even for Tracy. I don't think she planned on racing coming in, but not only did she race, she absolutely dominated. There's her brother, Mick Hanna, legendary on this course, unfortunately going down in the rock garden. And Connor Fearon coming out with the win. Right there, super, super difficult conditions. This track gets extra spicy when the rain comes down.
Great to see big names in our sport right there, collecting the hardware. Some nice keepsakes from beautiful Cairns, Australia. Those trophies are handmade. You gotta love it. And we got some prizes for you as well. We don't want to just, you know, we don't want you to just be passively viewing this. We want you to be taking part in our broadcast. If you're watching on the Red Bull Bike YouTube channel, we're watching it. We got a little iPad right here. We're watching your comments. And for one of the top comments, we have a prize. We like to give out prizes because we love you. We appreciate you. We got a nice Crankworx Cairns t-shirt right here that isn't like what you can get here in the Festival Village. It's got Eric Fedko, Emil Johansson, and Nikolai Rogatkin's signatures on it. And I'm sure there's a handful of you out there who would like this thing. So leave us a funny comment. We're gonna pick a winner. No matter where you're joining us from in the world, we're gonna send this right to you. we're gonna put it in an envelope and get it on its way to you. So just yesterday, downhill, it was insane. This course is so muddy. It rained all morning, and all eyes were peeled on this finish line right here that has a long final straight. It was a pretty amazing competition for the women's and the men's field, Alan.
Yeah, absolutely. This track, it's really, the dirt here is very, very clay-based. We're in a rainforest, so there's a lot of nutrients in that. That's kind of what makes these trees grow the way they do. But when it gets wet, man, it is icy.
Well, the big story of the day was the fact that Tracy Hanna was leading seeding runs by 9 seconds. All the pressure was on. She dropped in, won by 17 seconds, quickly grabbed the microphone and did the winner interview for the men. Unfortunately, her big bro, Mick Hanna, had a big crash in the rock garden, wasn't able to take the win, but Connor Fearon, another Australian, amazing performance and took the win.
Yeah, the Aussies performing all the way at the top here on the downhill race. It was awesome to see Tracy, see her here with her family. She has a 6-month-old baby. Got to see mom race, got to see mom on top of the podium. Such a cool event.
Crocodiles.
Crocodiles.
Crocodiles. This is going to be a thought experiment. I'm going to give you one word and you're going to tell me what you think. Crocodiles.
Ouch.
Ouch is right. Any body of water you see out here, you're like, there could be a croc out there.
Salt, fresh, yeah. There's definitely things out there that will get you, but I felt pretty safe ever since we've been here, to be honest.
For more on crocodiles, have a look.
We out here croc hunting, so like we're gonna find like an 8-meter croc. Craggy mate.
This is so different to Sweden, so it's cool to like have something to compare with. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Scared of the wildlife here at all?
Yeah. Yeah, like all the snakes and like crocodiles and everything in the water and like small insects. Basically scared of everything, so just staying on the safe spots and not in the bushes.
We're going to cruise around, we'll get crocs nice and close either side of the boat. I've got my pole up there, I'll put some KFC on it, I've got plenty in here. We'll try and get a little bit of danger action. We'll cruise around, super casual.
I just want to touch a croc. Like, I know that sounds pretty unrealistic, but just a quick little, like, head on the head.
It's just unreal being out here with the squad, and like Crankworx is just unbelievably nice for giving us the opportunity to be out here. And this adventure park's insane. I've never even seen a croc in my whole entire life. I'm shocked, like massive crocodiles, and yeah, just a wicked park. You gotta come check it out if you're in the area.
I ate croc. This is the first time I've ever eaten croc. I never thought you could even eat croc, but you can eat croc, and I ate croc. It was great. It was really good, very tasty. Kind of texture of like pork, but like moist, nice pork, kind of porky chicken, kind of fish, all mashed into one.
Oh yeah.
Very, very nice. I was very impressed.
I've been here so many times, but it's so exciting to bring like someone like Aria who's never been before, because then you kind of relive it all again. So it's super nice, and I think this area is new, and this is a nice addition. It's cool that they get to feed the animals and everything.
Kangaroos are way more chill than I thought they would be. I thought they'd be coming up and punching me. But they're really nice, and they like frozen corn.
We're looking at a kangaroo. They have 99 boxing stats and good jumping ability. That'd be a demon in speed and stuff for sure.
For real.
I just want to like hug it.
Oh my gosh, I got to see a kangaroo, and I got to pet one. Oh, I just want to take one home with me. They're so adorable. satisfied. Trip is complete.
Ooh, should I kiss him? Ooh.
Best day ever!
I mean, what can't you do out here? These are things that you can't do anywhere else in the world. You're not gonna find a great barrier. You might find a good barrier reef some other place in the world, but you're not gonna find a great one. You're not gonna find kangaroos anywhere else in the world. Beautiful, far north Queensland. Are you not entertained? Hey, as soon as we're done with Speed and Style, we're not done for the day. We're gonna be gearing up for the second broadcast of this beautiful Saturday here in Cairns. It's gonna be all about the Crankworx Cairns Pump Track Challenge. You're not gonna wanna miss it. We're gonna be giving away valuable points out there as well. But back to the action here. Run 2 here in our round of 8 matchups. In this particular matchup, we got a guy by the name of Garrett Meacham on the right side of your screen. A lot to talk about when it comes to him. He's won the past 2 Speed and Style events. He qualified first here today. He's going up against Mark Ducat right now, who was 4th place in Rotorua just 2 months ago. Garrett has a 1.4 advantage, and the gate is dropped.
Yeah, Garrett, one of the more complete riders out here, really playing that balance well between speed and style. Mark Ducat, he's definitely gonna have to lay down on the tricks right here if he wants to make up that 1.4. It's one of those moments where Garrett knows he has that advantage. He just needs to stay clean on his tricks, keep Ducat at least right next to him, if not right behind him. Gets those tricks off perfect.
Oh, into the mud.
Yeah, definitely gonna have to clean that up as we move on in these rounds, which it looks like Garrett is going to move on. These runs are gonna get faster and faster as the competition gets closer and closer.
Well, it's not gonna be a trip to a medal round again for Mark Ducat. He will hit the showers as Garrett Meacham secures himself a spot in the round of 4. He's just been flawless. Last season, the entire season, and then kicking off this 2024 season, he's solidified himself as the man to beat.
Yeah, he's been killing it, no doubt about it. Really seeing that open window for him in this, really being able to put together all of the skills that he has. And there's that spot right there, having to pedal through that soft dirt. That is the difference between a win and a loss in some of these races, so he's gonna have to clean that up.
Yeah, guarantee yourself that some of these matchups are going to continue to just get tighter and tighter as we work through these brackets here today. Garrett Meacham into the semifinals. The big question right now is who will be in the gate next to him in that round of 4 matchup? Will it be Bas van Steenbergen, the race specialist, the former king of Crankworx, or will it be the Australian Mike Ross, the man who's got the casserole in his back pocket? For those of you who are watching this competition wondering, what in the world did Mike Ross do on those jumps? What is that trick, Alan?
It's a casserole. It is a double access spinning trick. You're flipping, you're spinning, you're doing it all at the same time. It's one of the more technical tricks you can do out here, and man, he is absolutely locked in on that stunt. We even saw that combo. Let's see if he gets it off again. Baz with the whole shot. And from this angle, it's hard to see if he did that seat grab or not, but Mike Ross with a perfect casserole there, and Baz just laying down the horsepower. This is where Baz shines. Look at how smooth, how clean he is, getting every moment he can, just accelerating over the back of everything.
So Mike Ross deciding to improvise a bit there, not going for the casserole on the second jump, keeping it a little bit safer with what I believe was a 360 X-up. And that could be smart, you know, it's called the casserole in slope style because it gets you the money, but out here it's more like a dice roll.
Yeah, a little bit of a dice roll, especially in today's conditions. Yeah, it was just a straight up casserole there. So he knew he had that big advantage, so maybe just saving a little bit for these further rounds. But you know, Baz didn't make it easy for him. Look at how fast he's accelerating in and through these turns. Even though the ground is a little slow, it's really hard to tell when Baz is coming around those turns. Then there's that X up to Knack-Knack, getting that combo. Gonna be doubling up. Mike Ross there with the 360 X up. Definitely not as clean as he would want. Straight back on the pedals and across the finish line. Let's see how it all comes together for these guys.
Here we go. Will Mike Ross be awarded there for playing it safe? He will. Mike Ross advances into the round of 4. He will face off against Garrett Meacham. Smart. You know what's funny is the casserole is so much more risky just by virtue of how difficult that trick is, but he's cleaner on the catch roll than he was that 360X up, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's much cleaner on that catch roll. Sometimes if it's not broke, you just don't fix it, you know, keep that rhythm going.
Easy for us to say up here when we don't have to do a front flip 360 on 2 jumps in the middle of a race run. Back up to the top right now, Jackson Frew with 0.9 of an advantage over Jaden Fleming. Jackson Frew, you see that right hand, that yellow glove. We saw blood leaking through that glove just 2 nights ago in slalom. He had a farm accident, an explosion left him with burns on his right hand. He's been pushing through the pain all week.
Yeah, farm accident's not what you want coming into one of these events, but Jackson's never gonna lay it down, that's for sure. He's gonna give it everything he's got. Jaden Fleming keeping him in distance there. There's that knack-knack C-crab. Jaden Fleming with a clean front flip and trying to push all the way to the finish to minimize that time difference, so hopefully Jaden's tricks will catch him back up.
I think you got it.
Jackson Frew sitting in 3rd place in the king of Crankworx standings right now. Oh, this is going to help his cause. He moves into the round of 4. Familiar territory from just a year ago, and Jackson Frew made it to the bronze medal round, but had to settle for 4th place points. Take a look back at the top of the course here.
Nice, huge, clean backflip out of Jaden. We see the knack-knack. You see Jackson really trying to push through that jump to minimize the amount of time he's in the air. That is trying to create more speed, get that time difference, that gap going for him. And Jaden sees him pulling away right there. This is the opportunity. Sometimes you'll see the tricks mix up where they see the competitor just a little bit in front of them. They've got the gap that they need to make up in their head. And you never know, you can always just send it off that last jump and go for broke.
Jackson, coming into this event, it's got to be pretty stressful for you with that hand injury, but it's been going pretty great so far. A pair of bronze medals. Congratulations on that, and congratulations making it into the round of 4. How are you feeling out there today?
Really good. I think this one's a bit of stress relief for me after the other ones, because this isn't my strongest event, so I can kind of just turn up, have some fun. And this crowd's been awesome, and this track it's a credit to the builders. It's still super wet, but man, it's so good.
Great to hear. How is that hand feeling right now?
I can't actually take my glove off. It's kind of all one and the same at this point, but it doesn't hurt too much when I hold on, so we'll keep going.
You're an animal, Jackson Frew. Let's see if you can make it another medal here and make it 3 for your tally so far this weekend. Congratulations on moving through to the next round.
That's what we're shooting for. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, a lot of these riders probably pushing through bumps and bruises. That's one of the unique things about cycling events. These riders are able to push through injuries where, you know, a lot of mainstream sports, they don't even let the athletes out on the play of field unless they're absolutely perfect. But not here in bike riding. You can push through injuries. You can make it happen. Right now, we got Daniel Ferry and Tehoto Riquepenny both trying to make it happen right now.
Daniel Ferry right now the number 2 qualifier with a 0.4 advantage over the reigning king and the leader of the king standings right now, Tehoto Riquepenny. Oh, smooth for both riders off jump number 1.
Yeah, Tehoto went huge, maximizing the extension on that suicide no-hander on the first jump. Looks like Daniel Ferry picking up a little bit of time on him. There's that tuck no-hander. Oh, suicide no-hander to tuck no-hander, an even more diabolical trick. So upping his trick game, knowing he needed to do something. Tehoto pulling out all the stops. Is it enough?
Tehoto wants this so bad. He's 23 points ahead in the king standings right now. And knowing that Jackson Frew is out there advancing out of rounds. Oh, look at Daniel Ferry, the backflip double bar spin.
Yes, absolutely clean. Both tires coming down
so low.
Perfectly. So he's gonna get max points on those tricks. And then we see Tehoto coming around the turn. And this trick on the last jump, suicide no-hander, grabs the bars, throws him in his lap to tuck no-hander. Shout out to my homie Jeff Neely when I was about 16 years old. That was the first and only person I've ever seen do that combo. Awesome, pulling out all the tricks. Tehoto pushing his limits out here. Let's see it again. Yeah, you don't see that combo very often. There's a reason why. That is not easy.
It's the execution right there that Tehoto is playing toward his favor. Daniel Ferry really fumbling the bars there on that truck driver, barely getting his hands back on. This is a big one right here. If Tehoto advances, it's gonna really play into the king standings. Gilchrist getting eliminated earlier, not picking up points here. Fru still in the game. Tohoto eliminated. The Italian Daniel Ferri will advance. Jackson Fru is going to have a huge opportunity to get the upper hand on Tohoto now. The pressure is even more on for speed and style for Jackson.
Yeah, Tohoto able to bridge that gap a little bit, but not enough. Danielle still had him by 0.2, but awesome to see him upping his game. I'm wondering if those being clipped in helps with those suicide combinations, having his feet attached to the pedals. Really cool to see, though. One thing that the weather's not dampening is the festival vibes out here. So many people turning up here to cheer on their riders. It's not too often that the best riders in the world make it all the way to Northern Australia, so they're not going to pass up that chance just for a little bit of rain falling.
Look at this. Just imagine how big the crowd is going to be tomorrow for slope style. I love the energy out here. It's something special when we cruise around the world, bringing that original energy that was born in Whistler, BC 20 years ago, and to recreate that around the world is something special. We got to thank all of you joining us from home as well. I was one of you just a year ago. My leg propped up. Wasn't able to make it down here. I'm stoked to be here now to witness all this action. Riders like Garrett Meacham, who's on a tear in the discipline of speed and style. He'll face off against Mike Ross and his casseroles. The Italian Daniel Ferri going up against Jackson Fru, who has a huge opportunity now with Tohoto Ariki-Penny eliminated from the competition. Jackson Fru trying to earn those points and climb the ladder. He's currently sitting in third. But we love to get you at home involved in the action as well. Make sure you join the conversation in the comment board down there in Red Bull Bike's YouTube channel. We got a poll for you as well. We're gonna see on the screen here shortly.
What do we got coming?
We're curious what you think. So we're gonna hit you with a poll. We're taking a look at some of the social media content coming out of some of our slopestyle competitors right now. Caroline Buchanan took the win in the first ever women's slopestyle competition that took place 2 months ago in Rotorua, New Zealand. We're gonna see her again tomorrow, looking to back up that win. It's gonna be exciting. This new course, I'm liking the changes.
Yeah, the new course is definitely gonna open up the Showtime booter at the bottom. Some of the stuff that was happening with the dirt pipe in the past was a little bit hard to get speed, a little bit tough for these riders to really pull out their hardest tricks on the last jump, but that is not the case. I've been watching some practice. Riders are throwing down. There's plenty of speed.
Well, that's tomorrow, but today it's all about speed and style. The course is lined with enthusiastic Australian fans, and this is the place to be if you're anywhere in the vicinity of far north Queensland and you're a mountain bike fan. You're not missing this opportunity. And if you are, you're here with us on the Red Bull Bike YouTube channel. So we talked about the fact that Garrett Meacham is looking for 3 in a row. But last year, right here, he took it as well. Before he was on this streak that he's currently on, he was in the finals against Bas van Steenbergen. Ooh, Bas was high in that berm.
Yeah, Bas was railing. This was such a close event with speed and style getting separated. And Garrett just a little too strong. You can see how much Bas was pushing Garrett on the speed, drifting around those turns. Getting those triple combos in. Almost missed a gate there.
It's great to look back at our final gold medal matchup from a year ago, and now looking at our standings, you know, Garrett went for that big Quarterfinal 720, a hint at things that could potentially be in our future here for the 2024 version of this speed and style competition. But familiar faces out there. That was Garrett Meacham and Bas van Steenbergen at the top 2 steps. We had Mike Ross pick up the bronze medal last year, and Jackson Fru the 4th. So we could see a lot of the same out here today, but only one of these riders is going to advance out of this matchup. This is a heavy one. Mike Ross, right side of your screen, has the top 2 scores of the day. Well, who has the rest of the top scorers? He's in the gate next to Mike Ross. His name is Garrett Meacham, and he is the man to beat in the discipline of speed and style right now, but only one can advance to that gold medal matchup. This is gonna be a good one, Alan.
Yeah, both riders extremely skilled in both sides of the fence, speed and style. This is gonna be one heck of a matchup here between our number 1 and number 5 qualifiers.
If you are either of these riders right now, you are waking up hoping that you don't find yourself next to one of these guys in the semifinals. This very much could be a final any other day.
Yeah, the only way to do it is one run at a time, no matter who your competitor is. You can't think too far ahead. Right now, this is your final. Every run is a battle for your life in this event. So let's see what these riders can bring down to the bottom. Solid gate out of Garrett. You can tell he's been practicing those BMX starts, just drifting over.
Oh, the double truck for Meacham, the cash roll for Ross.
Yeah, Ross went a little wide on that cash roll, lost a little speed, but looked like Garrett fumbled a bit too, so these riders are very, very equal. This is where the difference between these two riders are gonna be. Let's see what they bring in.
Both of them nail it.
Both nailing their tricks. Unbelievably clean. 0.759 on time. Let's see where those trick scores come in.
Oh, man. All right, this is going to be a big one for our judges there. It's the combos of Meacham versus the bangers of Ross.
Yeah, let's see what they got over this first set. Watch how Mike Ross travels a little bit wide on this cash roll. Watch where he lands compared to where the hard packed groove is. He's a little bit outside of that. Able to land up high enough, get a couple of pedals in, and keep the momentum going. But that did not help his time. But he did have some big tricks in his bag on this final jump, pulling out that cash roll. Let's see what he does down here. There's the bar spin flip to can out of Garrett, and then there's that cash roll. Watch how these tires come in. Boom.
Perfect.
Dead straight on the pedals before he's even come off the landing, pumping the transition, getting every bit of momentum he can across the finish line.
Makes it easy on the judges when both of the riders stick to their guns on their tricks and they perform them with absolute precision. The template is already set for what they've been scoring these tricks, so it really comes down to a drag race if they both land them.
One of the things that's awesome is no matter who comes out on top from that first run, we know that both of these riders have a lot more tricks deep in their bag. So expect to see some of these tricks step up for the rider that's willing to risk the most to try to advance on to that final round.
We see Meacham doing 3-part combos. He can parlay that into 4-part combos. We've already seen from Mike Ross a cash roll variation, which has proven to be worth at least 2 more points based on the execution of that variation. That'll be a great run when we get them back up to the top. We will inform you when we get word on who has the advantage for that second run matchup in the semifinals. We're waiting for Jackson Frew and Daniel Ferry to load up in the gate right now. Daniel Ferry, big tricks. Jackson Frew, just enough tricks to get by, but a whole lot of speed. If you don't believe me, well, he's got 2 bronze medals already in the past 2 days to prove it.
Yeah, getting back up, that's one of the things that you don't take into account on this event. You know, we're only watching these riders race down. They got to get themselves back up to the top. They've been here all day long, so a little bit of fatigue might be playing in right now. But at this point, these riders are going to send it 100% and try to get into that gold medal matchup. Gate down, both riders looking really smooth. Jackson with about a bike and a half length lead. And then there's that backflip double bar spin out of Ferry. He's been so clean on that all day long. Got him that second place qualifying spot. A little front end high, getting a little wild coming into the shark fin section. See if he can hold it together and pull off a big trick. Gets that truck driver in straight on the pedals. Looks like riders starting to have a little bit more trouble on that last set. I don't know if that's wind or pressure, what's really making that happen, but they're gonna have to clean that up as they advance further into this event. There's that scrub wall where the riders have to unweight and try to stay as low as possible. It's super important there because if you over jump that scrub and land flat, you're gonna lose all your momentum right before that first trick jump, and that is not what you want.
Jackson Frew there, giving the hang loose with the blood-stained glove. What an animal. Here we go. We got the knack from Jackson Frew. Is that a backflip double bar spin, or was that a backflip bar spin to X up? It's so hard to tell. He's doing it so quickly.
Looks like Ferry was going for a 360 bar spin to X up. Didn't quite get that X up around all the way. So leaving a little bit more on the course, but will it be enough?
Here we go. We're going to get a look at who will have the advantage here. Daniel Ferry will have the advantage. It'll be just a bit over a second there. So Jackson Frew is going to have to either dig a little bit deeper into that bag of tricks that he's been working on in the airbag, or just leave it all out there on the course in the speed category.
You know, as we've been working our way through, you know, getting through these runs, seeing these scores come in, I kind of want to ask Chopper. Chopper, what are you seeing out there? Is it the extension? I've seen a couple of issues there on that final jump. How's the scoring going up there from your guys' perspective?
Yeah, well, as you can see, like, for example, we see Mike Ross back-to-back cash rolls, but he's adding the T-bog in there as well, so he's maintaining that really high score. And he's up against one of the best guys, Garrett Meacham, as well, so that in itself is one heck of a contest in there. It's, you know, the speed is there as well, so, and the other guys as well. It's just the perfect combination, speed with big tricks, and this is exactly what we want to see.
Something we mentioned before is if there is a non-trick, you guys are actually going to be adding time on, correct?
Yeah, that's right. So we do penalize the guys if they just do a dead sailor, which is nothing over a jump. And if they case in there as well, there's also minus points there too. So there's a lot of marginal gains with this discipline.
Good to know. Thanks for the update there, Chop. It's really interesting when you think about a rider like Jackson Frew, who doesn't have a lot of tricks. He's working so hard just to kind of get a foundational baseline of something that will not add time on. You got to just give the effort. You're not going to get a lot of points that are going to, you know, translate into time taken off. But if you don't do anything, then you're really going to be kicking yourself, and most likely taking your helmet off for the day and becoming a spectator.
Yeah, kudos to Jackson actually over the last couple of years. His tricks have improved quite a bit. And imagine just trying to learn how to do tricks while going as fast as you can possibly go. That seems like it is definitely making it a lot harder than it needs to be, but he's making it work out here.
That's what's fun about this discipline though, is, you know, initially when it started, you're only seeing riders who maybe didn't qualify for the slopestyle, deciding, hey, this is where I can try to, you know, make a name for myself out here. And now, because we have the king of Crankworx overall, we have the queen of Crankworx overall, you're seeing these seasoned racers who are buying airbags and training and, you know, trying to, you know, make something out of nothing, which is great for the spectator, because, you know, it's easy to get a little desensitized to these 360 triple bar spins. And when you see somebody who doesn't know how to do a single trick try to come up with something, it's very entertaining, it turns out. Yesterday was quite entertaining when all the pressure was on the new mother, Tracy Hanna, a rider who's won 5 Canadian Open downhills in Whistler. She won here at Crankworx Cairns downhill just 2 years ago. It was only by a 1/10 of a second. She was the #1 qualifier, and she was able to tackle these treacherous conditions and cross that finish line with a 17-second lead and take the gold medal.
Yeah, not only winning, but winning by a huge margin. And so awesome to see Tracy able to do that. She lives just over the hill. Her and her brother grew up here. Her brother, Mick Hanna, you might have heard that name before. Grew up just down the street, so really awesome to see her out here, you know, racing and doing it for fun. She's a sole rider now and still dominating the races.
Yeah, you see her as the correspondent at the finish line, doing all the interviews for Rob Warner and Elliot Jackson on the Red Bull broadcast of Crankworx downhill events. She decided she could not pass up the opportunity to race in front of friends and family here. Not only did she race, she won, and then she grabbed the microphone to do the winner interview for the men. Good show, Tracy Hanna. Speaking of good shows, tomorrow is going to be one of those. Big action on Sunday, slopestyle, the women's category, and the first event for the men after the events of Crankworx Rotorua 2024 2 months ago, where we did not see the men compete. We will see them tomorrow, and you know, they're like so much pent-up energy from those male slopestyle competitors. A lot of uncertainty as to who will have enough points to get the invitation for Crankworx Innsbruck, which, as it turns out, is only 3 weeks away. So some of the top riders in the world need a huge result tomorrow in order to get that invitation. So it's probably the most high-pressure slopestyle competition we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, basically the pressure of next season starts at the last contest the year before. Everyone kind of takes a month, maybe a few weeks to rest their bodies and straight back to the drawing board and trying to push themselves and progress. And they've been doing that now for quite some time, and they've yet to be able to unleash it out here on a Crankworx slopestyle course. So that pressure has been building. Tomorrow, the top will blow off. We'll see the men and the women compete. It's going to be an awesome, awesome day.
Looking forward to that as we get a view of our exuberant crowd, looking forward to the answers to all of our questions. Who will be at the top of these King and Crankworx standings at the end of this stop number 2 of the 2024 season? At the moment, Martha Gill has a 9-point lead. But these results do not include our results from today, where Jordy Scott took the gold medal in speed and style. She's going to be adding some more points to her tally. We have pump track later on, where we will see all of those riders. And for the men, the big story right now, Jackson Frew. With Tehoto Ariki-Penny out of this competition, he's sitting on a comfortable lead, but not when you got Jackson Frew in the semifinals of speed and style. Tehoto will add some points to his name from his result here today in speed and style, but Jackson Frew is the man with the opportunity. Ryan Gilchrist getting out in the round of 16. You'll see him later for pump track as well, so the story is far from over when it comes to the King and Queen standings for today. But here's a look back at the winning run from our Crankworx Cairns downhill just about 24 hours ago. Connor Fearon, flawless.
Yeah, I don't know what the words are to describe how slippery some of those route sections are on this track, and then this lung-bleeding sprint at the bottom that really takes it out of you. But yeah, Connor was able to lay it down here for the home crowd.
I'll tell you what, he wasn't cozy in that hot seat, though. He was the second to last rider to drop. The last rider to drop was Mick Hanna, a guy who knows a thing or two about this course, so much so that there's a rock garden section named after him. Coincidentally, that's actually the section that he took a crash in and was unable to make it back-to-back wins. Mick Hanna took the gold a year ago. Connor Fearon grabbing those accolades for 2024. Congratulations goes to him, but it was a brutal day. Rain falling from the sky all night, continued all morning, and this is what downhill looked like.
Oh,
Alan,
man.
are you excited you did not decide to race yesterday?
My palms are getting sweaty just watching this, Cam. Yeah, that's how I was here a week ago for the Masters World Champs, and practice day 1 was like this. And if it was like this on race day, oh man, I don't know what I would have been.
That's right where Mick crashed right there.
Yep, that's the same spot. Here's Mick's crash here.
Here we go. Oh, I hope he was wearing elbow pads.
Big slam. He was all right. It was just a mechanical that took him out of the race, unfortunately.
And that was Mick, though. I hope that rock is all right.
That's a good point.
Mick's a beast.
To say the least.
Ooh, this is going to be good. All right, all right, all right. We now see the advantage belongs to Garrett Meacham. It's small. It's under a half a second. Mike Ross, will we see the casserole toboggan here on jump number 1?
Yeah, the tone has been set. Mike Ross is on the ropes right now, so he has an opportunity to really lay it down. Let's see what he's got here. Gets that casserole off. I don't know, so quick. Maybe he got that toboggan. Let's hope he did. Garrett Meacham just laying down that pressure. Is looking so smooth. Gapping to back tire rolling, getting momentum off the backsides of every jump he can.
Whoa.
Super clean on both tricks with these riders.
It's really going to come down to these trick scores here. Garrett Meacham crossing the finish line first, getting his back flip bar spin to one-footed can-can. Mike Ross stomping that cash roll. It was just a half a second separating them. I think Meacham played his cards right here.
Yeah, let's see if we can see if Mike Ross got this toboggan off on this first trick jump. It's hard to tell from the other side, but I think we're gonna look here. Let's see what we got. Yes,
oh yeah,
he does. Hand clearly on the seat. Cash roll combos here in the speed and style. Laying it all down on the track. These riders down at the bottom. Let's see what happens. Waiting for these scores. Look at that scrub out of Garrett.
I know.
So good. When you imagine what it feels like to ride, that's what it looks like in my head. I don't know. I don't think that I look like that, but that's what it feels like.
That's what you want it to feel like. We want it to look like, for sure. So Garrett had quite the lead through the finish line here. but Mike Ross added the variation up top with the hand on the seat in the midst of that front flips 360 rotation, which we call a cash roll on jump number 1. This one's gonna be too close to call until we see the numbers.
Here is the fun part. Waiting game.
Mike Ross thinks he knows.
Know something we don't. It is now all official.
Garrett Meacham advances into the gold medal matchup, sending Mike Ross for an opportunity to grab a bronze. A repeat here from last year where we saw Garrett Meacham in the gold medal matchup. And Mike Ross there duking it out for third.
Garrett's got his program on point. Whatever he's doing during the week at home, the training, the practice, the studying of other riders is definitely paying off because he is locked in these speed and style competitions. Here we get another little replay here now. Watch, these are just little minor things. Watch this gap at us, gets the back tire down. He's pumping off the back side of that transition. He's actually gaining momentum by landing and pushing against those jumps. Even though it's a bit soft out there, he's making it happen. There's a triple combo, backflip, bar spin, can, straight back down and on the pedals.
I love that angle. It's so easy to watch in slow motion, but the fact that he's getting good extension on that one-footed can consistently just proves what level he's on right now. It's no fluke, all the medals he was able to obtain in last year's season. It was a win in Whistler, a win here in Cairns, a win in Rotorua 2 months ago, and a bronze in Innsbruck last year for Meacham. Dominance is a good word for it. Daniel Ferry, left side of your screen. Jackson Frew, nursing that hand burn on the right, hasn't slowed him down. He's got 2 bronze medals already this weekend. Daniel Ferry with just over a second advantage.
So Ferry's just gonna have to keep Jackson in his sights and be perfect on his tricks. There's that backflip double bar spin. He knows what he needs to do. They're going up right against each other, and Jackson's just gonna have to drag race. This is all the power, all the speed. If he wants to advance, this is where he needs to lay it down.
Oh, the knack-knack seat grab. Ferry, no variation on the 360 there. That's gonna hurt his cause. You're the crowd. Let's go, Jackson!
Jackson pushing through that final jump, trying to keep his momentum forward and get himself to the finish line as fast as possible. He was only about a foot over that landing as he was coming across, but still was able to get that combo trick off.
Here we go, look back at jump number 1 here. You see Jackson really scrubbing, pushing through, and that's a strategy right there if you're trying to play toward your strengths of speed, is to ride the jump as fast as you can, ensuring that you're gonna land in the right part of the landing, but squeeze in a trick that's conducive to a squash off the takeoff. Working out pretty well for him so far. Jackson Frew looking for some points.
Yeah, one of the most technical parts of Jackson's tricks is actually something that doesn't get judged. He's riding in clips. So he has to unclip that foot before he goes out and does that trick. Get it back in, get down to the bottom, do another trick. Super, super technical.
That is such a juggle of pros and cons. The gate start's gonna be such a nice thing to have those feet connected to the pedals, but 2 jumps where you have to remove a foot. You're so right, what an added degree of difficulty here.
So you see him getting that foot off. He's already unclipped before he goes off the lip. So he's taking off without his foot clipped into the pedal. Gets in the air, grabs his seat, does a knack-knack, lands, gets his foot back in, and pulls the cranks all the way to the finish line.
We've seen Bas van Steenbergen doing that in the past. It's worked well for him. It's working well for Jackson Frew. You see Daniel Ferry there, unfortunately missing the variation on that 360, but landed nice and straight on the landing, able to point those tires to the packed section of that finish line straight away. Only one can advance. Who will join Meacham in the gold medal matchup? It's going to be Daniel Ferry. All right, this gold medal is going to come down to tricks. We got 2 trick specialists in the gold medal matchup.
So Jackson moving on to the bronze medal matchup where he will definitely be throwing down because the two people in front of him right now in the King of Crankworx standings are already out of this contest. So all he sees right now is points.
Well, that'll be fun to watch the bronze medal matchup where we have the rider who has the biggest tricks, the top scores of the day, going up against the rider who's running clipless pedals and just skating by with the tricks that he can scrounge up from his newly formed bag of tricks. Jackson Frew thinking about King of Crankworx points. That gold medal matchup's going to be the #1 and the #2 qualifier. Love it when that happens. Well, as we've mentioned time after time in this broadcast, so much fun can be had out here in far north Queensland. Take a look at what kind of fun can be had in these rivers. Some of our riders enjoying their downtime.
Today we're out at the Little Mulgrave River. We're going to go do some tubing.
Dude, this is a puffy life jacket. Why is it fat?
Ooh, what's your name?
They look like a pretty adventurous bunch of people. I mean, we might see some of them fall out and go for a bit of a swim, but I'm sure they can take a bit of punishment.
I'm just learning how to swim today.
Feels fast, it's light.
Got some little rapids, little grade 2 rapids, which might seem kind of small and insignificant, but in the tubes that we got over there, they'll seem much bigger.
This is the safest I've ever felt with the helmet, the body pad.
You can take on any crocodile
Make
right
Dumb
now.
and Dumber seem real smart.
What Jason's dumb onto him.
It's freezing! Go jump me off!
Oh my god! Say the way you're like, this is gonna be so peaceful. I'm watching it, like, it looks so nice. Not nice. I was the only one that stayed up. Let's go. I thought I made it. I made it to the end, and then it just like...
That was really cool. It's cool. It's such a pretty area around here in the tropics, and it's cool to do a fun activity through it.
This is the dream. It was cold getting in, but we're good now.
Oh my god, so much fun!
We thought we'd be a leisurely float down the river, but we've all come out quite a few times. It's good fun.
It doesn't really work.
What was that? So much fun.
Sick.
Yeah, it was very cool to see had like deep in the rainforest and stuff while just floating through the river. And some of it was very calm, some of it was pretty gnarly. We got to experience everything out there today.
I think it was just sick to like, yeah, just bond with the group. You guys are all just such sick people and definitely a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, I would do it again, 100%.
Can we be back next year, guys? Good job, crew.
Good work, team.
I do it again.
There we go. The stage is set right now for our bronze medal matchup and our gold medal matchup. Bronze medal is either going to go to Mike Ross or Jackson Frew. Our gold medal matchup will be Garrett Meacham and Daniel Ferry. Oh, look on screen right now. Jaden Fleming, of course, competing out here today. We missed this earlier today. Big over the bars moment. And a front flip gone wrong. Fleming was eliminated by Jackson Frew later on after that, but wow, impressive to think that that was what his morning consisted of.
Yeah, that's stiffer than a strong cup of coffee right there. Coming up a little bit short on that front flip on distance and just getting catapulted over the bar straight to another front flip.
They build them tough in New Zealand.
Yeah, they do.
Jaden Fleming, we saw him in that piece right there, enjoying the rivers. I'm sure when he was down there on the ground, he was thinking he'd rather be in a tube, floating through a beautiful stream, but tough guy, you gotta give it to him. Ooh, we do have an updated Queen of Crankworx leaderboard. Martha Gill still at the top despite Jordy Scott grabbing some points from the gold medal in speed and style. An abbreviated field there for the women in speed and style due to some of those top riders that we've seen occupying the podium spots in years past, deciding to focus full energy on slopestyle, with this being the inaugural season of women's slopestyle on the Diamond Series, which takes place exclusively on the Crankworx World Tour. Caroline Buchanan, the reigning queen from last season, only doing 2 events per stop now. She chose speed and style and slopestyle in Rotorua. She's choosing pump track and slopestyle here in Cairns, so expect to see her looking to add some points later tonight when we have the pump track challenge, and expect to see her taken to that slopestyle course tomorrow.
Yeah, Martha Gill's focus this season really paying off. I remember just a couple of months ago when the season kicked off in Rotorua, you saw that eye of the tiger she had in the slalom race, taking that slalom victory and really carrying through here in Cairns.
It's a big deal for her to focus her energy on slopestyle. Just goes to show how much it means to her. She's been so well-rounded and tapped into so many different disciplines and had success in all of them in her career. Everything from BMX in the Olympics to Queen of Crankworx 2 years in a row, and now she wants to be standing on the top step of that slopestyle podium all season if she can help it, right?
Yeah, I mean, such an amazing job out of Caroline, like able to change from BMX to mountain bikes. She gets into the tricks. She's just never satisfied and always excels once she gets there.
So Caroline Buchanan right there, 3rd place in Rotorua. We're gonna see Robin Gooms out there doing slopestyle tomorrow, and expect to see a whole lot more rotations. Basically, that winning run that Robin Gooms had just 2 months ago showed the rest of the field what the level's at. I believe we're gonna have Patricia Druin competing tomorrow, which, based on what I've seen on her Instagram, it's like, okay, let's look at what the next 3 years are gonna look like in progression. It's a big leap forward if she can put together a run tomorrow. It's gonna wow the fans out here, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, the female category in slopestyle is gonna be super competitive. Not only do we have Patricia Druin back, but we also have Alma Wigberg, her first slopestyle event of the season. We've seen her doing 360s in speed and style. Been watching the Instagram. The bars are starting to spin a lot more, and the flips and the spins. So, you know, really elevating their game, the female contingent of slopestyle. So this course is dialed. I haven't seen really anyone struggling to get through top to bottom, and that's always a good sign.
I think with it being the 3rd year as well, 2 successful years, and something to learn from. Course designers deciding that the half pipe feature in the middle of the course, in the middle of the final straightaway of the course, was inhibiting the speed for the final jump a little bit too much. So they've straightened it out, and it's gonna just be a trick fest, an all-out 6-pack to finish those runs. We're looking forward to that tomorrow, but right now, it's all about this bracket right now. The bronze medal matchup for the men, Mike Ross and Jackson Frew, the 5 and 6 qualifiers respectively. Mike Ross looking to stomp big combos. Jackson Frew with the clipless pedals, looking to lean on his strengths, which is all out speed.
Pretty good start out of Mike Ross there. He's gonna need that to keep up with Jackson Frew. He's got those massive tricks. Gets that toboggan catch roll off with huge extension and height on that. Jackson Frew laying down the power, able to get that jump to manual. Railing around the shark. You see him unclip right there, coming out of the shark fin. That was insane. Oh my gosh. Whoa! Comes in a little front end high right there and almost over rotates it, but able to pull off the manual. I don't know if the judges are going to be able to add that to the scores, but I've never seen a cash roll the manual before.
Oh, on the razor's edge of control there. The margin for error is so small on the cash roll. You see his momentum going one way until his front tire set down.
And there's that cleanliness on that toboggan. cash roll coming in straight on the pedals around the turn. I don't know. Oh, look at that line right there out of Jackson. Bunny hopping over the exit of that berm to keep his momentum and shortening the track. Now watch right here. Watch Jackson come out. Oh, no, it's the next one. Watch. We're going to see it. Oh, we missed Jackson come out of that second shark fin. But when he comes out of that second shark fin while he's in there, that's when he is unclipping. But watch Mike Ross. This is that moment we were talking about, Cam. Walk us through it.
Watch his eyes here. He comes into the landing, back tire first. He gets a peek at the landing, but he's still got more rotation to go. He's got a whole nother 360. He's got to drop that low shoulder and flop over that axis. Watch how high this front tire is when he touches down. Look at that. All of his momentum wants to spit him off of the looker's right side of the screen. He's able to keep his eyes up his shoulders square and settle it down straight, not only avoiding the crash, but putting it straight into the pack section of that final straightaway. Insane demonstration of control there from Mike Ross.
Yeah, using all that core strength that he has to keep that bike going straight towards the finish.
Well, we could see that with our eyes. Jackson Fruit crossed the line first, but Mike Ross will be leading this heat, not by much, just 0.119 separating these two riders as we send them back to the top of the course. Here we go, Alan. Here's that moment you were talking about.
Yeah, watch this. So when he comes out of this second shark fin right here, we were talking about how he's clipped in. Watch this foot. Whoa! He just clicks it out right there while he's in the air, going faster than most of the people out here on this course. Puts his foot back on without clipping it back in. So now he's not clipped in coming at this lip, and that is so hard to do off the lip. Scrubs, does his trick, and now watch, he gets his foot back on and straight to the finish line. That is impressive.
I love the fact that we're able to slow down the footage and fully appreciate the subtlety of that move right there. Fastest times of the day, all three of them belong to Jackson Fruit. Yeah, that is some surgical precision right there. Imagine how good it feels when that works. You get the foot out, you get the trick, and if you hear that foot click back in right before you take your last few pedal strokes to that finish line, not too many riders in the world are capable of doing that. We see the chat blowing up with appreciation for that move. And this is going to be a good one here. Garrett Meacham, Daniel Ferry, the first and second qualifiers of today's speed and style seating. They find themselves together in the gold medal matchup. This is run number one.
Yeah, at this point, these riders have been watching each other. They know what tricks they've been pulling. Let's see if they decide to step it up here in this gold medal matchup. Coming into the Showtime booter here, jump number one. Whoa! Looks like Garrett was able to get his triple combo off. These riders are side by side on speed right now. Ferry keeping Garrett honest. Awesome. Coming down to the final jump, let's see what he's got. Gets the triple combo in and they start pedaling to the finish.
Look at that, just 0.3 separating them through the finish line. We have a whole lot to talk about in these replays.
I missed what Ferry's trick was on that top jump. We'll have to look back at the replays and see what he had. 0.301, wow. That's not much on time, so really, really relying on the trick side here to see who's going to advance.
Okay, watch Garrett Meacham. I believe he gets 360 bar spin, X up to 1 foot of can. Here we go, 360 bar spin, X up, 1 foot can. Let's take a look at Ferry. Backflip, double bar spin.
Where's Meacham's foot? There it is. It does get across that top tube into can-can. So there's that quadruple combo. Straight back on the pedals through the S-turns. Right here, the riders were absolutely side by side, pushing the limit. Going super fast through these shark fins. You're turning and jumping at the same time. If your trajectory is a little off on the takeoff, you're not gonna land where you need to land. So really, really technical parts of this track where they're fighting side by side.
This is what speed and style is all about. Two fast riders with huge combos laying it all on the line.
Yeah, it looked like Ferry maybe wanted a little more. His front end came up a little bit high on that one. That's one of the things that happens when you're racing and stunting at the same time. You may push through the lip, you may pull off the lip. You're not gonna land exactly the same way every time. So that was kind of maybe what held him from doing another trick there.
That right there is going to play into our story big time. That last jump where Garrett Meacham was able to get that backflip bar spin to 1-footed can, but Daniel Ferry wasn't able to get another variation into that 360 with a bar spin. We see those scores coming in, and it puts Garrett Meacham into the lead by 0.6. One more run to go here between these two racers to determine who gets the gold medal.
These guys trying to get hyped up here, getting the crowd involved into it. So much goes into it. And when the crowd is hyped, the riders are hyped, and it really just elevates them and pushes them to that next level. One of the coolest things about the Crankworx Festival is you actually get up close and personal with your heroes. You see Garrett coming off there. He's in the lead. He's poised to win the gold medal, and he's just high-fiving the fans, walking through, signing autographs. It's such a cool vibe here in the festival.
Chop, we don't need exact numbers. I just want to talk big picture right here. How big of a deal is it when you see riders in these late rounds, gold medal matchups, able to squeak out one more variation when the pressure's on?
I think you just said it there, Cam. Like, as you saw from Garrett, his speed is always there. But then you've got Ferry, who's also doing the big trick. So just adding that extra can like he did at the start is enough for him to go into the lead.
So true. Thank you, Chop. And it really comes down to being able to dig that bit deeper when the pressure's on. And Garrett Meacham has been the guy who's able to do that all season last year and so far this season as well. Looking to make it 3 wins in a row. He picked up 3 medals last season. And if there is one key to his success, I would say digging just that little bit deeper in those high pressure situations.
Yeah, he's got this format totally figured out. He's been pushing. And you know he's got more in the bag too. If it comes down to it, if he slips a pedal, if he finds himself behind Furry in this next round, he can definitely step it up. We've seen cork 7s. We've seen a lot of different stunts out of Garrett Meacham.
There we go, with a win under his belt already in this young 2024 season. Look at that. Look at that look on his face. He knows he's bad.
Yeah, he's got his eyes focused. He's not unfamiliar with the King standings. You know he sees an opportunity to pounce and move himself up the rankings in the overall.
We had him in slalom 2 days ago. I believe he finished somewhere around 9th. So he's doing what he can to try to pick up some points in those other disciplines as well. We mentioned how well-rounded of a rider he is. He can do it all. He can race, he can compete in slope style, which is why he's such a threat in speed and style. But he won the whip-off here last year as well. We got the whip-off coming up later today. I'm sure we'll see him competing in that as we take a look at our whip-off roll-in here, which is doubling as some stadium seating for our enthusiastic Crankworx Cairns fans.
Yeah. A little
POV view here from Garrett Meacham earlier today in practice.
Right. Little right guard announcement. Right.
If you ever wondered what it looks like for these riders, this is the best way to get a feel for it without suiting up for yourself down here in Australia.
You hear Garrett coming around those turns, accelerating out, just having a blast out here in Cairns, warming up. But it's not warm up now. He is in the gold medal matchup.
Just the beginning of the day here as well. We're moments away from giving out the hardware for our speed and style competition, but also we got pump track coming up later. We got another band taken to the stage tonight. You're not gonna wanna miss that. If you're watching from home, get off your couch, come on out here, you can watch some pump track, watch a band. With this being the 50th Crankworx Festival, we're taking that opportunity to celebrate some of our favorite and most memorable moments from the past 20 years. One of them was when the legend Brandon Semenuk took his first Joyride slopestyle win in Whistler.
Brandon, the local boy, Semenuk.
He can't throw it down for all you guys. Big truck off that first drop. And another flip bar. Semenuk is really pouring it on here at the finals. Bar spin in, truck out.
Here we go.
Combos.
Kokanee Cabin, what Semenuk got for us? What? The flip whip, he's landed it! Brandon Semenuk has landed the flip whip right here at Kokanee Crankworx. How good it is to be from Whistler at a moment like this. With a 95.4, much respect for Brandon Semifinal!
When you win Red Bull Joyride, they give you a ring. He's won 5 of them. It makes me wonder, I never thought about that until just now. Did he get one sized for a thumb? I don't know, we'll have to ask him. Right now, it's all about speed and style. Bronze medal matchup. Mike Ross, right side of your screen. Jackson Frew on the left.
So Mike Ross with a slight advantage coming into this next one. We're gonna look back here at our keen contenders right now. Jackson Frew, Sam Blankensop, and Ryan Gilchrist.
Well, I'll tell you what, Gilchrist, before this event, sitting in second place. Frew sitting in third with the opportunity now to try to climb up into that second place spot. Tohoto was leading it at the beginning of the day. He's gonna add some points to his tally based on his ability to make it into the round of 16 earlier, round of 8, pardon me. And the story is far from over. We got more points to give out in Pump Track later on today. But Frew, with his sights set on those third place points, is gonna have to get through cash rolling Mike Ross. Aussie versus Aussie here in run number 2 of our bronze medal matchup.
.119 here, there's nothing in it. Every ounce of energy and every bit of extension on the tricks is gonna come into play here in this final round.
Ooh.
Looks like Mike Ross overjumped that scrub just a little bit, maybe losing some momentum, but he's still able to get that stunt off on the first jump. Riders coming down, this is where they really start to accelerate downhill, railing these turns. Oh, Jackson misses the seat.
And Mike
Ross does only a straight 360, so both riders having issues on that final jump. It's anyone's game right now.
Oh, man.
They both think they blew it. What is gonna happen?
Mistakes from each rider. It's going to come down to the times. It's going to come down to the scores. This is gonna be a close one. See, Mike Ross, how deep he went on the scrub roller. I can't believe he was able to correct his speed and stomp this cash roll.
Yeah, he was able to get back on the pedals and
got it.
pedaled all the way around that berm, able to get that toboggan cash roll off. Such a huge trick. And then Jackson just throws down the power all the way from there to the bottom. See if we see him clipping out. It's gonna be the next one where he clips out and brings it in. But on this final jump, watch. Oh, we're up a little bit higher, but when we get to the final jump, watch Jackson Frew's hand. He's doing a knack-knack seat grab. That's what he's been doing all day long, but this is the first time I've seen him. He actually misses his hand on that trick there, clips out, misses his hand, gets his hand back on, actually flies all the way to flat bottom, but Mike Ross also having some trouble.
So when he does that trick, he's been relying on his hand to kind of pull his bike back underneath him and straighten it out. Lucky for Jackson Frew, Mike Ross also shaking his head there. Both riders with mistakes on the final jump. Leaving it up to the clocks and the judges. Who's going to take the bronze medal here in Cairns? Jackson Frew with the bronze medal.
You see Jackson completely surprised. Maybe he doesn't know that Mike Ross also made a mistake on that last jump. That is huge for the King standings. Look at the scores of the day over there.
Oh, man.
Something definitely left on the table for Mike Ross. He's going to be kicking himself.
The fact that that was a bronze medal matchup, we had the rider with all 5 of the top scores of the day going up against the rider with the top 4 fastest times of the day. Jackson Frew taking his speed to the podium.
Speed prevailing today in the bronze medal matchup by the slightest of margins. Yeah, both riders having a little issue on this final jump. I'm not sure if the conditions are changing or if it was just kind of a coincidence. Maybe the pressure of the situation, but it was all down to this last jump. Jackson Frew able to hold on through the finish line. And you see here, we talked about getting full and below the set points. A little bit under-rotated for Mike Ross, a little bit cased, so that might not have got him the points that he needed. If he would have cleared the jump all the way, his extension was a little bit higher, it might have been enough.
Jackson Familiar territory right here, grabbing yet another bronze medal. We saw you shaking your head in disbelief when you were awarded that bronze. Were you unaware that Mike Ross also had a mistake on that final jump?
No, my life flashed before my eyes on the last one, so I was kind of worried about recollecting my thoughts, and then, yeah, saw it pop up as bronze, and yeah, it was completely in disbelief. Yeah, pretty speechless, actually.
3 bronze medals for you in the last couple days. Congratulations. I know that's going to help your cause as we add up those points for the King of Crankworx overall. Are we going to see you competing in pump track later on tonight?
Yep. Another double day coming up today. It's getting a little bit old, getting 3rd best man on the day, but man, this is awesome. I'm stoked to keep this going, and yeah, pump track's going to be fun.
Soak it up. Nothing wrong with a little bit of consistency. Way to go, Jackson Frew.
Thanks, guys.
Man, oh man, look at this moment right here. As he put it, he saw his life flash before his eyes right there, thinking he was going to become separated from that bike. And I'll tell you what, if he wasn't able to get back on, imagine crashing with 1 foot clipped in, 1 foot clipped out. That would definitely make it difficult to slide or roll out of that one. So not only did he dodge a bullet there, he found his way onto the podium.
Yeah, awesome job. Never giving up. He was up against a wall there in that second run, but he made it happen.
Ooh, we are far from over here. Daniel Ferry going up against Garrett Meacham. A look back to run number 1.
Yeah, run number 1 was very, very competitive. Riders side by side, almost all the way top to bottom. Both of them pulling their tricks on this first jump. Look at the speed and look at how dead even they are right here, Cam.
This is a master class in how to ride speed and style. Yes, the bronze medal matchup had the top scoring rider and the fastest rider, but these 2 riders have put both of those skill sets together, and that's how they've become lined up against each other in the gold medal matchup. 1 more run to go to decide it. Who's going to take the gold? Who's going to take the silver? Can Garrett Meacham make it 3 golds in a row? Or will Daniel Ferry take his 2nd place qualification result and be the spoiler and kill Garrett's streak?
Pressure on with .601 separating these 2 riders.
Oh, here we go.
Solid gate out of both riders. Garrett with a slight advantage, but it is at the top, and they're coming into this first trick jump.
Oh boy.
Both riders clean right there. Garrett with a little bit advantage on the speed right now. Ferry has a deep bag of tricks. He knows he's up against a wall. Let's see what he has for this final jump down here.
Ferry's gonna have to dump it out in this last jump.
Whoa! And he does add an X up into that 360 bar spin, which he didn't have on the first run. So a little bit more on the trick for him, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough. Garrett was a little bit faster that run. Spreading that gap on time just a little bit more.
I think jump number 1's really gonna play into this. Let's see if Garrett got his combo. He got the 360 bar spin to X up. He did not get the 1-footed can-can. Let's see what Ferry got, Alan. Truck to X.
So truck to X out of Ferry and a flip bar to bar. Oh, and a foot down out of Garrett right there.
Yeah, it's actually, yeah. Yeah, Ferry with the flip bar to bar and foot dab. Garrett with the 360 bar spin to X up, missing the can-can, but let's see if he made up for it on jump number 2. Obviously leading the charge on speed, putting all the pressure on Daniel Ferry's decision here on the last jump. Garrett with the backflip bar spin, great extension on that 1-footed can-can. Ferry going for that X up. I'm not sure if it's full. He lands a little bit over-rotated. I think things are looking pretty good here for Meacham, but only time will tell.
Yeah, my bad there. That was actually Ferry that stomped the foot up there on trick jump number 1, so that may affect the score on that flip bar to bar.
There we go, Garrett Meacham making it 3 in a row. He secures the gold medal here in Cairns.
I love it. You can't tell how much this means to Garrett until they call out that final position. And he gets that little smirk, and the weight kind of comes off. Awesome, awesome job doing everything he needed to do today. When the pressure came on, he was able to respond.
No fucking way.
There's that dropped foot. Obviously, the pressure was on Ferry. A bit of a mistake there. The door was open with Garrett not getting his 4-part combo on jump number 1, but he was just so flawless on speed here in the middle of the course, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was able to accelerate after that jump a little bit further ahead of Ferry due to that foot dab, and then making it all happen right here at his last chance to improve his time with tricks. Garrett getting that flip bar to can-can, absolutely perfect. Watch the tires. Boom, both tires at the exact same time. That is gonna get you maximum points on those scores.
Garrett, there aren't too many people in the world who can say they know what it feels like to be truly dominant in a sporting discipline. You can say that right now. What is that like?
Man, I'm just doing lap by lap. We're just racing. We didn't even really know if we could even make it happen today, honestly, with just the weird weather and that kind of stuff. But lap by lap, we're not taking it for granted, that's for sure.
Garrett, you're absolutely locked in up there. Tell me, what kind of stuff have you been doing to prep for this over the last couple of years? What kind of practice are you doing at home? Because, man, you're tightening it up.
Man, I can't give away my secrets. What?
That's smart.
No, just a bunch of, like I said last in Rotorua, that I got a new trainer, Randy Lawrence, and his program's been pretty epic, and just a legend of the sport. The dude knows what to make us do, that's for sure.
Well, you're racking up the points out there. We got to start talking your name in the King overall standings conversation. I got a question for you right now. Are you doing whip-off later? Or are you doing pump track later?
We're doing whip-off, man.
All right, well, you won it last year.
Stuff.
So let's see you go out there and make it 2 wins on the day. Again, congratulations there, Lil Rojo.
Thanks, man. See you, boys.
Good stuff there from Garrett Meacham. He's got to do the juggle right now, celebrating a gold medal and switching bikes, getting ready for another discipline. Daniel Ferry from Italy securing the silver medal, and Jackson Frew. Look at how small that deficit was there between Frew and Ross, just 8 thousandths of a second separating them after the scores were tabulated into the equation. Great competition out there, and to think that we're not even over for the day. Hanging out here in beautiful far north Queensland, Cairns, Australia. Great barrier reef off there in the distance. From the top of the downhill course, you're looking at this beautiful ocean view. We got the rainforest here at the Crankworx Festival venue. What a beautiful place in the world to bring Crankworx, a festival that just sinks its teeth into good times on bikes. We got more good times to come as we peek at our adjusted standings for the King of Crankworx overall. Tuhodo, 30 points ahead, but Jackson Frew just narrowing that gap between him and Ryan Gilchrist. Only 4, no, I'm bad at math. You can do it.
No, math is not my game either, but what I can tell you is that we are not even halfway through the season, so it is heating up. We got Jackson later tonight. He's got more opportunity to get points in the pump track. You know Gilly's gonna be in there. He's gonna be pushing it.
Oh man, Gilly and pump track. He's gonna be hungry after getting knocked out today. I was just super impressed to see him, not only in Rotorua, how well he did in speed and style, but to see him out there today. We talked to him yesterday in that headset interview. We said, are you thinking about the King of Crankworx overall standings? And he said, well, my team manager said, we sure would like for you to obtain that. A lot of crazy travel to get him back down here to his homeland of Australia. But you got to think he's going to have his game face on tonight in pump track.
Yeah, definitely making that big commitment. Getting from Europe, getting to Australia, he's got to get his booty back to Europe because, you know, the World Cup season's still going. He's leading the points right now in the EWR E category, so it's been a heck of a year for Gilchrist.
Tuhodo, Gilchrist, Frew, Martha Gill, Caroline Buchanan. We're going to see them all in the pump track coming up in just a couple hours. We're going to do it under the lights. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a band playing. Come on. What else do you want out here? Thanks for joining us for this broadcast of the Crankworx Cairns Speed and Style. I'm Cam McCall alongside Alan Cook. We'll see you in a little bit for pump track. Adios.
Get it jumping off, give them what I got, serving up something hot. I'm a rap tactician on a ragtag mission, honing my craft with the working man's ambition. I'm not a chap in the top hat and the trucks, but I may have to glove slap if a cat in the roughs. When I'm at my job, stacking up, rapping deluxe, making gold out of everything I happen to touch. I work as hard as Mo D or Kane, trying to maintain ain't an easy thing. If you lose your focus, folks are soon to know focus. So move with hope and show them who's the dopest. Guard your grill and put up your dupes. Everybody knows the drill and we jump through hoops. I'm never leaving the field, no substitutes.